Shut up, brother. So you know what? Let me share something with you in the Bible. So I was reading about Jesus Christ, right? And let's look at the authority of Jesus. In other words, I'm going to say your authority. The authority of Jesus. Your authority. In Matthew chapter 7, verse 28 to 29, he says something over there. He said, "And it came to pass, when Jesus had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine." After Jesus Christ preached to them, after he taught them, Jesus Christ is a teacher. After he taught them, the people were astonished at his sayings. They were astonished at the things that he told them about. And in verse 29, let's look at something. Watch closely. He said, "For he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes." In other words, they were astonished at his sayings because he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. So the Holy Spirit was talking to me and he was like, "What is the scribes? Who are the scribes?" So I went deeper to look for who the scribes are. Who are the scribes? Who are the scribes? The scribes in Greek word is called grammatists, like grammatists. In other words, they are the most highly educated Jewish scholars. The scribes were highly educated Jewish scholars. And who are these people? Their role are to copy, to interpret the law of Moses. So they copy, they interpret the law of Moses. These are the scribes. So when the people heard Jesus Christ preach, he was not talking to them, or they didn't see them to be like the scribes, because they are used to always listening to the scribes. But when Jesus Christ spoke, he was not speaking like the scribes. That's the reason why they were astonished at his teachings, because he was not teaching as the scribes. Who are the scribes? The scribes, they copy, they preserve, and they interpret the laws of Moses. In other words, the scribes, they are the religious people in the church. They are the ones who always, in other words, they are not their own. They are not original. They only come and tell you what Moses has said. They only come and tell you what the Torah has said. But they do not speak to you, or they don't teach you based on revelation. That's what separated Jesus Christ from the scribes. So when we are talking about the scribes, they are those people who are not original. And we have all those people in our churches. Some pastors are acting like scribes. So they are religious leaders. They are not teaching the people what the Spirit is saying. They don't speak to them from their spirit. They tell them what they have been told to come and preach. They are echoing somebody else's revelation. That's what they are echoing. They are not echoing, or they are not speaking from their revelation. See, each and everyone has a revelation. God speaks to everyone. And when this revelation comes to you, you have to just let it out. Like the way I'm sharing with you right now. I'm sharing with you based on revelation. I'm not sharing with you as a scribe. I'm sharing with you based on revelation. So if you are listening to me right now, refuse to be a scribe. Have authority, because when you keep on acting like a scribe, that means you don't have authority. The people said it. They said, Jesus Christ, they were astonished. Because Jesus Christ was not speaking to them like the scribes that they know. Jesus was speaking to them with authority. So if you're a pastor, if you're a teacher, you're a leader, don't be a scribe. Speak to your people with authority. In other words, be original, be genuine. Don't be a copycat like what the scribes do. The scribes, they copy, they preserve, they interpret the laws of Moses. And you see, these scribes were also found in the Sanhedrin. No wonder Jesus Christ found himself in a hot soup because these scribes were in the Sanhedrin. And they were the Pharisees. They were connected to the Pharisees too as well. See, when Jesus Christ spoke, the crowd will recognize him, or they will recognize the word as fresh, powerful, and unlike the scribes, depending on the traditions. That's the reason why Jesus Christ wasn't liked, because Jesus Christ came as a man with power. He came with authority and he demonstrated it. Every part of his way, he demonstrated the authority that God has given him. God has given you an authority. So as I'm speaking to you right now, you have an authority. That's why I said the authority of Jesus Christ and your authority. You have an authority to speak boldly from within. Don't be a religious man. Stop practicing religion. Religion is what is killing Christianity. Religion is killing Christianity. Religion is killing Christianity. Stop practicing religion. They will say, oh, we are not religious, we are not religious. But they are practicing religion. If you are not genuine, if you're not speaking from within, if you're not teaching your people based on revelation, you are practicing religion. Be like Jesus Christ. Be a man of authority and take over your world.